Hey everybody, this is Robert from Black Belt Gaming. During my last visit to the United States, I managed to pick up Samurai Spirit by Funforge. And I heard that it was similar to Ghost Stories, with more of a Japanese theme rather than a Chinese theme. And so here, evidently, you are samurai defending a village, much in the spirit of maybe the Seven Samurai film. And I had a chance to play this one once with my niece, and I think we just barely lost. I've played Ghost Stories once, and that's on my channel, and well, it didn't come out as a victory. So I tried really hard, had some good die rolls, but just couldn't pull it off in the end. This one, I'm not sure of how difficult it is. Like I said, I've only had a very quick two-player game. I'm going to be playing it for the first time solo, so let's jump into the rule book and see if anything's different for the solo setup. If I already were to have any complaint about this game, it would be that the text in the rule book is very small. I can read it, but it's tiny. For a two-player game, it says that you set things up pretty much as normal. However, the support tokens for the other samurai that are not in the game should be placed to the side so that you can use them, but you only get to use them once. And for a solo game, it says take 2 samurai, you can take 3 if you want, and just play according to the two-player game rules. So that's what we're doing. The other thing you can do here is choose the difficulty. There's easy, normal, and hard. Why don't we just jump into the normal difficulty and see how that goes. You follow these things for the setup. It says the number of barricades, and that's these, looks like little wooden fences. The number of barricades around the village are equal to the number of players plus 2. So that's going to be 4 barricades for us total. It says the penalties for when a farm is destroyed are not applied. So evidently, normally, if a farm is destroyed, that can hurt you even more. The raider stack consists of 7 plunderers per player. And then I think if you make it to the second round, you add some lieutenants, and a third round a boss gets in there. So if we can make it that far, we might have a chance to see a boss. So let's get ready to play. Alright, well, out in front of me we have the village board. It's pretty small. I'm going to put my hand out here so you can see. It's not very big. On this board we have these fences. There's 4 of them that are set up. We have 6 farms and 3 village tokens in the middle. Over here we have our deck of plunderers. These are basically the bandits attacking the village. I think if we manage to defeat them, I think they go over here in a discard pile. And then I think there are some that can get through, and they stack up at this gate here for a final rush towards the end of the round. Like I said, it's been months since I played this, but I'm looking forward to playing it again and getting myself a little sharper with the rules here. I've chosen 2 samurai. Kanbei here, who has the ability to, what was it, either discard or ignore something odd number villains. I'm going to take a look at that to make sure, but he can, when he reaches I think enough damage, he will activate his what is that, Inoshishi, his boar spirit, and come out there and be a little stronger in his animal form. And then I think over here we have Gorobe. He is similar in power, and I don't know if this is a good choice, but their powers are pretty similar. Something with odd-numbered bad guys, and if he gets angry enough, he will become a Kuma, a bear, and can, I guess, be a little stronger there in that bear form. So I think in order to transform into those animal forms, I think they need to take damage before that happens. But let's kind of learn this game as we go along. I hope you'll join me for it, and we'll see if we can pull out a victory. So the village is under attack, and we'll get started right away. Alright guys, it's coming back to me. I took a look at the rule book, and like I said, I'll need to figure out a little bit of this as I play along. Might ask for your help now and then, but I think I'm ready to start. I'm going to have Gorobe here go first. On a samurai's turn, he can pass if he doesn't want to do anything else, or if he's forced to pass. He can support and spend his turn giving his support token to a friend, or he can fight, and that's what you usually do, is you try to fight these bad guys attempting to invade and destroy the village. So we're going to draw a card for him. This is one of the plunderers, and it's going to have an attack of 1. If we choose to engage it and fight it, we're going to put it over here, and we're going to move our point marker down here to 1. It does have a special defense mark here. That means I can put this over here on the side with the matching symbol, and it means that my character, while battling the bad guys, is doing his best to protect the villagers, their homes, and their lands. So if I'm missing any of those 3 cards at the end of a round, I'm going to suffer some penalties. It means I wasn't watching or providing enough defense to the village. This fire can mean some bad news for the village later, and this is a penalty that will allow this this character to attack you later at the beginning of your turn. But what does this do? This allows us to ignore the penalties associated with even numbered bad guys. This guy is a 1, that's an odd number, so we can't ignore his penalty down here. So the best thing for us to do may be to put him over here as a defense card. So that way he's keeping his eye on the villagers. So maybe one of these plunderers runs up to cut down one of the farmers, and Gorobe takes his head off and protects them. Well, Kanbei, his best friend, is next. Has the same options, and we're going to let him fight. So we're going to draw his card. He draws a 3, and we can use it as a defense. It does have a penalty associated with it, but the good thing is that Kanbei can ignore penalties from odd-numbered plunderers. So I think we're going to put that one over here, since this penalty won't be applied. So I think how this works is that it would go back to the other guy, Gorobe. When it would come back, that penalty would be applied to our hero, and he would take a wound. But since he can ignore penalties on odd numbers due to his special ability here, he's going to be okay. So he's fighting this guy, and that's going to take 3 off of his track. So that's kind of, I guess you could say, his skill or his endurance, how many bad guys he can take on. So he's up to 3 points on his track now. Well, our big barbarian looking fellow is ready for another one here. And he draws a 2, which means that that penalty can be ignored. I can't remember what that penalty is. We'll take a look at these one at a time as they come along. We can use it as a defense card, but I think since we can ignore the penalty, let's go ahead and put that over here and say he is taking on this guy. And that'll put his track at 2. It looked like it was a pair of hands shaking and a minus sign. Let me quickly research what that does. Well, it's not that bad of a penalty. It just says that during your turn, you may not carry out this support action and give your token to another player. However, you can still receive them from other players. That penalty is not so bad. I'm not really worried about that. So I think that's going to actually change my decision. And I'm going to use this for its defense, because we definitely want to fill those up. So let's put that over there like that. So that's allowed us to protect the villagers and protect the house from being burned down. And that's what he's going to do on his turn. Now we're over to Kanbei. Alright, he's ready for his next one. He gets a pretty beefy looking dude here at a 4. Let's see, we needed to potentially apply this penalty at the beginning of our turn, but we get to ignore it because it's an odd number. We draw our card, we get a 4. There's nothing here for defense. So the bad thing is that that penalty is going to hit us at the beginning of our next turn. There's just nothing we can do about it. So we're going to put that guy there, and that's going to be 4 plus 3. So that's a total of 7 on our track. He's starting to fill up here. Alright, we're back to Gorobe, and there's no penalties to apply. He's going to fight, and he gets another weakling here. We've already used the villager icon. We're protecting those villagers, so we can't double up over here. We need to take this guy on. The bad thing here is that he's an odd-numbered plunderer. So we can't ignore his penalty. So that penalty is going to hit us next time. So that should be on a 1. Let's zoom in here. I'll show you the icon there. We've got a little face of a ninja going shh. Let's see what that does to us. Alright, if we can't figure out a way to get rid of this penalty when it's his turn next time, we're going to take the top card from the Plunderer's attack deck, and we're not going to flip it over. We're going to put it up here at the entrance to where you see the matching ninja symbol there. Oops. At the entrance to the village. So we've got some surprise attacks, maybe a second wave of these guys coming in. Right now there are none stacking up. They're called intruders, but that penalty is going to start putting them on the stack up there, and that's going to be bad news for the farm. So Gorobe's turn is over. We're back to Kanbei, and he now has to deal with this penalty, and that is a wound. We take a wound token and put it on Kanbei. So Kanbei was engaged with this big fella, and he blasted us in the face, and that hurt pretty badly. So if we take a second wound, then that is going to cause us to remove the wound token and flip over our card to its animal side. That means he's really ticked off. Oops, sorry for the bump there. And he's going to be in his animal form. You can take another wound in your animal form, but if you take a 4th wound, you are dead, and you guys all lose the game. It's a cooperative game, so no one can get killed. Or no one should get killed, or the game is over. So let's see. It is time to make a decision here, and we're going to, of course, fight. Let's take this 1 and put it over here in defense. Make sure we're keeping the villagers safe. Back. It's bad news because we're going to take another wound next turn. But you see, even if I put this one over there, it would be the same thing. But we could ignore it, though. Wow. That's the better choice, isn't it? Let's put this one over here. Move him down to 8. And that will allow us to ignore this penalty next turn, because he can ignore the penalties of odd-numbered plunderers. Maybe that's the better move. Alright, we're back over to Gorobe now. And he's going to keep fighting. We've got a 3. And I keep almost forgetting this. We need to, you know, I would need to take this actually face down. And I wasn't supposed to look at that. And put that up here. He's going to be an intruder. Now we draw the next card. and we got another 3. So that was our penalty. Now we're ready to, well, we've got to fight this guy. So we're going to put him on the track, and that's going to take us to 4. And that will end his turn. All right, Kanbei here has about got his hands full. Let's see. There's something that happens when he hits his track at 9. And I think that allows him to activate his Ki power. But if he goes over 9, I think he's got his hands so full he's got to pass. Anyway, I'll figure this out right after this. So apply the penalty. We get to ignore that since he is an odd number. Let's let him fight here. We have a 2, and you see that's going to be too much for him. That's going to take us not only to 9 but into the fireball. So what we want to do instead here is maybe use the hat symbol to help protect the farmlands. And we'll put that over there on the defense side since he hasn't accumulated any defense cards yet. But if we had needed to place him over there, why don't we take a look at the rule book and see what that would have done. Alright, the rule book says that if you just get past your Ki value and go into the fireball, it means you are completely, fully engaged in the battle. There's really no bad guys, any more bad guys that you could possibly take on at the moment, and you're going to be forced to pass. So once you pass, and then once your partner passes, the round will end. So you don't want to pass if you can help it. So we're going to play that one for defense and head back over here to this side and see what we can do. Uh-oh, he's got one of the muscle bin coming at him as well. He can, we need to apply this penalty, don't we? The penalty says it's a shield with a minus through it. And quickly referencing the rule book, you'll find all these icons here listed out, and it says Raiders penalties. And it says during his turn the player may not place Raider cards to the left. Well, that's exactly what I was going to do. So we'll have to fight him. Let's add this up now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That takes us all the way down to 8. And fortunately we can ignore his penalty since he's an even card. Alright, so he's on 8. We're back to Kanbei now. Applying the penalty, he gets to ignore it because it's an odd number. So let's go into his fighting action. This is another 1. Actually, this is good news. This is good news. Even though it has a defense icon, we've already got that same 1. If we put this 1 down, that takes him to 9 and activates his Ki power. And you'll find that at the bottom of the character card. Now, it is just pictures, but you can reference this in the rule book and find out exactly what it does. It says Kanbei, in his human form, he takes the top 2 cards from the intruder stack and places them into the discard pile. So, there were some spies hanging out trying to sneak in and stealth their way into the village. Kanbei spots them and kills them. So we're going to move those over here to the other side of the board where there's a little, looks like a gravestone marker or something. So these guys are defeated. So that was the Ki power. There's something else that goes with this too, however. When you activate your Ki, there it is, activating your Ki with this tiny text. You can use your Ki's effect if you like. Regardless of whether you use the Ki effect or not, remove the first card from your combat line and place it face up on the discard pile. You update your battle track accordingly, and as a result, you might be able to Ki again later. So we take out this 3 and we move everybody up here. 4, 5, 6. We move this back down to 6 and he goes right over here. That worked out pretty well. So once again, we've got an odd number down here at the bottom. We can ignore this. That's his ability. So now we're back over to Gorobe. We've drawn a 2. This is an even numbered card, this one, so we can ignore this penalty. I'm really bad about not checking the penalties first. So fortunately we can ignore that and move on. We've drawn a 2. We can put it on either side. I think we definitely want to put that on the defense side. That's one of the farmer's hats. And that's going to allow us to protect the farmlands and have 1 for each of these areas. So we're in good shape over there with Gorobe. So we're back over here now, drawing the next plunderer. Checking penalties, we can ignore it. Alright. Where would that take us? That's 4 points. That would take us to 10. That's not good. Defense. We can use the defense side. Let's do that. We're going to put that over here and keep the villagers safe. That worked out all right. Back over here to Samurai number 1. We've got here this penalty which we can ignore, but I'm just curious as far as what that does. It looks like a rectangle with an arrow pointing off to the side, and it's pointing to the right. I don't know if that really makes a difference. The player sitting to the right draws a raider card and adds it to his combat line, and then he modifies his track. So I guess basically you send some more bad guys to your friends to get up in your friend's grill. So fortunately we get to ignore that. So let's see what Gorobe is going to get here. This is actually the last card from the Plunderer deck. This is good news because the round is going to end here. And look at this. We're actually going to hit our Kiai. And we put that there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 exactly. We hit a Kiai. And Kiai allows us to use our special ability, which is down here. For Gorobe, it says, in the human form, he takes the top 2 cards from the Raider stack and places them in the discard pile. Well, the Raider stack is empty. So I guess the other thing we can do here is eliminate the top card, move everybody down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put this back on 8. And then I think that will end this first round. So here we come to an end of a round. It says that there are 2 events that can end a round. The last card of the Raider stack is drawn and played, which just happened, or all the players have passed. So at the end of a round, we need to carry these things out in order. The first thing we need to do is each samurai who has not placed a card on the symbol with the hat sustains a wound. So we're in good shape over here. Actually, we're in good shape on both sides. So that's good news. The next thing we do is each samurai who has not placed a card with the farm symbol on his defense side removes 1 farm from the village. Gorobe did his job. Kanbei unfortunately neglected to protect this farm. I believe in this version of the game being a solo game and playing on normal difficulty, we don't have to apply this penalty. So if we were playing at a higher difficulty, I think another wound would be sustained. So that is just simply a farm destroyed. And you can see there on the board, that farm is now in flames. It got burned down to the ground. let's keep going. Every samurai who does not have a card with the family symbol on the defense side removes a random family token from the village. Afterwards, the corresponding bonus is given for each family remaining in the village. So there is a bonus for each family remaining in the village. So let's take a look at that again. I want to make sure I've got that right. Alright, so if I'm understanding this correctly, we get to take a look at the villagers who are still left, and we get to benefit from their aid because they're still alive to help us. This one says that we would get rid of some intruders. We don't have any intruders at the top. Somebody can remove a wound. Let's let that be Kanbei here. So the villagers kind of helped him here. And then we can rebuild a fence, or actually add another fence token to the board. Let's do that. That's going to take us up to 5. And then I think I think we will need to, place these villager tokens back again for the next turn. But we're almost there. The next thing we do here, it says reveal cards one by one from the intruder stack. So if we had any up there at the gate, we would turn them over now. And for each card that was showing flames on it, we would remove one of the fences. And if there are no other fences to remove, then a farmhouse is destroyed. So there you go. I think that completely ends the round. So at the end of the first round, it says if at least one farm and one family is left, the players begin the next round. All of the cards used are kind of shuffled together. We reset everything back to 0, and we add a lieutenant. And a lieutenant here is going to be stronger. It's going to be a level 5 raider. We're going to add a lieutenant, add 1 for each player. So we're going to be adding 2 lieutenants here into the Plunderer deck. Shuffle these together and we're ready to start the next round. Alright everybody, that's going to finish it up for our first round of the game. There's going to be a total of 3 rounds, so I hope you'll join me for the other 2. Let's see if we can get a win. Thanks for watching everybody.